And it doesn't stop on the East Coast, Lewis, by the way. We can go all the way to the West Coast, to California, where Republican Congressman David Dreier is saying, I don't think someone who is diagnosed with a brain tumor should have health care provided. Now, I don't want to confuse you. This is not any of the other 5 Republican members of legislatures that have said similar things over the last month. This is a new story, so I know it's going to sound like we're repeating yet again the exact same story. We're not. Let's go to audio and video of Congressman David Dreier. What on earth is he talking about, Lewis?
I do believe that my state of California has a structure in place to deal with pre-existing conditions. It's a pooling process, which I think is one that is worthy of consideration because, well, I don't think that someone who is diagnosed with a massive tumor should the next day be able to have millions and millions and millions of dollars of health care provided. I do believe that there can be a structure to deal with the issue of pre-existing conditions.
Okay, so let's do a 2-tiered analysis of what David Dreier is saying, Lewis, because it's so absurd. Number one, step one is what he thinks should exist is already part of the Affordable Care Act, okay? The Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, Romney Care, call it what you want, already includes a high-risk pool program that acts as a bridge to 2014 when the new regulations prohibiting discrimination go into effect. Now, over 67,000 individuals have already benefited from that program, although the high cost of insuring sick people means it's not going to be sustainable over the long run, which is why it's just a bridge to 2014. So number one, what David Dreier is saying California has or what should exist, it's already part of the Affordable Care Act. But number two, that pool, the California pool that David Dreier is trumpeting, is having a very hard time attracting anybody to enroll. Because as a 2008 LA Times article describes, as unaffordable, unavailable, or ineffective for many of those who most need health insurance, that pool is just not really working well. So David Dreier apparently, and he says at one point it's clear that he doesn't know what he's talking about because he says, I believe my state of California has this, meaning later on when he gets asked and said, wait a second, you know, the Affordable Care Act has that, and the one that California has been proven completely ineffective and bogus. He said, well, I said I believed, you know, I may have been wrong. I didn't really know. He should really get informed.
I mean, I think you should know what's going on in your own state.
If you're going to know what's going on in any state, if you're a congressman, my sense would be it should be your own state, the state you represent.
Probably.
You know, this might be crazy, but if you're going to represent the interests of anybody as a congressman, it should probably be the people in your congressional district.
Your constituents.
I know it's a crazy thought. I know most people assume that it's the interest of big corporations, lobbyists, and personal friends. Or the interest
of yourself.
Or your own personal interest. I know that that's probably the conventional wisdom at this point, but what about representing the interest of your constituents and knowing what actually is available to them and how well it's working? I know, I'm naive.
Maybe they should just give it a shot, see how it goes.
The show doesn't end when the show ends. There's a bonus show, Lewis. It's a whole other program hosted by producer Louis Motamedi. Today on the show, we'll talk about a $1 million phone bill. Don't be confused. It's not the $1 million electric bill from last month. Also, the exploding rats of World War II, an interesting story. And we'll talk about why don't we hear as much about high-paid actors and athletes when we talk about disproportionate levels of income than we do about CEO pay. I only ask the question. We'll discuss that on the bonus show. davidpakman.com/membership. Sign up, get that bonus show. Plenty more coming up, Lewis. Let's take a break and be back after this.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.